Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. You can dance. You can dance, Dubs. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, like a mother. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, like a motherfucking smack addict. For those of you that have been asking, that's a Brazilian rhyme by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know Dubs knows we're old school. We take it way back. That's just the shit right there. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Por vida. You know what I mean? Anyways, in a Menudo style in direct fashion, as you guys can see, I brought someone on here with me, Dubs channel. Make sure you tap in. He's one of the reasons I even got into YouTube, man. One day I seen him, he said, "What's cracking, eh?" And I knew from that point on, I was going to be watching his channel. I was going to be listening to some knowledge that you can't get in college. And from someone who really has been all over the state of California, as well as incarcerated, in and out of incarceration, man, that's then, this is now. We're now new men doing what we do. We're formulating a plot to bring you the best possible content we can on his perspective channel, as well as my two channels. Let's get it. Now, him being one half of the Wise Men, myself, Rojo is not here today. He's at work, so he found out that he had to work for that money. Go and get that. We wanted to talk about California Youth Authority, C.Y.A, incarceration as a minor, the youth, man. And I didn't want to put no negative spin on this. I'm not trying to get gang related or anything like that, because that's not what we do as grown men, man. But we're going to take you down memory lane, kind of give you guys a couple stories back on my perspective on being from up north, Northern California, and how it was an NRCC and what I seen and issues and how everything worked out. And then we're going to get to Dubs, man, and hear what he has to say. First and foremost, good morning, Dubs. How you doing, brother?
All right, good morning. Hey, am I, because you keep breaking up, I'm the handsome one in the crew, so as long as I'm not breaking up, we're doing good, eh? Serio.
Well, no, all right, we're good now. It was just my pipa was so big it was touching the connection. We're good.
Hey, all right.
It's like an eclipse. It eclipses the internet. Anyways, don't blame me, Holmes. Blame Elon Musk.
I guess so. It's fucking Elon.
It's like a Tesla. Anyways, look.
I'm on my lunch, man. Right. You guys wanted this. You guys wanted us to do something together. We're here. We're gonna do some more shit. But let's do this right now.
Yeah. So, Y.A, man, C.Y.A. I know we had two different accounts, two different perspectives. And this has never been done before, where someone from up north, someone from down south, not gang related, just two individuals that actually hit yardas as youngsters, man. And what was the whole reasoning behind this? And man, C.Y.A, it's a gladiator school. It's a place to earn stripes. It's a place to make your name be felt. So we were doing that, from two different sides of the spectrum. So I can say, man, when I got to NRCC, I had butterflies. I had butterflies in my stomach rolling up because, I'm coming from C.Y.A. I had caught a murder case. I'm a youngster. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it back out. And I'm very young at this time. And my perception of the whole thing was, I'm going to go to the fullest, man. I'm going to do whatever I have to do so that way I'm safe. I could get in and I could get out, man, and with the minimal time as possible. At that time, I was being told I could earn good time as long as I was all right. And I knew that this was the 90s. Gangbanging was real. Probably wasn't going to be the case. I probably was going to max out, to which I did. I was able to get a 4-day cut, for whatever that counts for. But getting to NRCC, and we'll talk about SRCC right now, which is the Northern California Reception Center. It's basically the reception for us. When I got there, I remember being told right from the gate, Jump Street, it's on and cracking. It's on and cracking. We had certain individuals on site. I mean, gangbanging was real right from the gate. And I was like, man, I don't even got a chance to breathe, put down my property yet before it's already cracking. And it cracked up. But and the reason why I did a spill a while back about the 805. Now, at this time, and you'll remember this, Dubs, Bakersfield was in the 805 area code. And so there was a lot of vaults being sent there from Bakersfield. There was a couple individuals sent from Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard, that would make it to NRCC. But for the most part, it was either vaults from Sanjo or Atwater, Winton, and, of course, Bakersfield that were there. There was 5 individuals from Bakersfield, man, on a melee ensued. I've spoken on it before. And my whole perception of that was like, wow, shit got real. It's getting real here. Y.A is not no punk. Anyone that's been in Y.A, man, it's going to teach you that you better have these or develop them, because you're going to have to use them time and time again. And not necessarily with your adversary or who you think is your enemy, but anyone, man. Everybody's tripping at Y.A. Everybody, It could be anyone. Every different day is different drama, different rules, regulations, different games are being played. So I know that from there, of course, As everyone knows the story, I moved on to down south, NRCC to Nellis. Fred C. Nellis right there on Whittier Boulevard. And that was a different animal, bro. That was a different animal because I was in no man's land, Holmes. I was out of bounds. I was out of bounds and I knew it. And I kind of want to reflect on it because it's kind of happening. What's happening nowadays in CDC is basically what happened to us. We were being integrated. Now, they have tried it before, and you can speak on it. I know you will, about Paso, when you got to Paso, how they were trying to integrate Northerners there at that time, and how that went down. And the stories we were hearing was they had tried to do that before we got to Nellis, and it didn't quite work out for the homies, right? It didn't work out. Administration killed that. But we were being integrated, and we were being told we weren't going nowhere. Homes, this is where it was going to be. So a lot of people question my stilo, and they question how I am now as a man. And I could say, man, as being a youngster and growing up, you're only a product of your environment and what's around you. So being around Southern California, natives of Southern California and their stilo, that Chicano flavor, I kind of adapted to it, man. I always knew where I was from, man. I wasn't never going to change none of that. I stood strong for my morals, values, and my cause. But at the same time, shit, I ain't going to lie. I like Kid Frost, right? So I was out there getting it for La Raza. And at the same time, man, it entailed a lot of different things. How was it from your perspective, SRCC? You're rolling up. People know my story. Let's tell yours.
Well, you already know it's. I think, Spencer. I think NR is a reflection of Northern California.
Yeah.
And the fact that there were Southerners on the streets out there, and there's Southerners in your reception center.
Yeah.
And Southern California was strictly gangbanging. And that's what SRCC was. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I will say this. It's weird, but I've told people all my time going to jail, there was only 2 times I'll admit that I was a little scared. Eh? The first time was my first time in juvenile hall, and then the second time was my first time going to camp. And in both cases, it was fear of the unknown more than anything. And after that, I was like, there ain't a jail on this motherfucking planet that's going to ever scare me, because I saw you just get there and handle your business and everything's going to be all right, right? But now, so SRCC, I don't know how NR is. SR, they have all the different compas, right? But they have the youngest dudes went to Cabrillo, right? And then the next youngest was Portola. So the compa, no surprise, the compa that was putting in the most work was Cabrillo. The kids go nuts. Motherfuckers were kicking their sinks off the wall just to make the Judas have to do something. You know what I mean? It was crazy. And then they had the doors, like they had a little thing on the top and on the bottom. And if you kick those open, you can open anybody's door and run up in there and get your money. And so it was, if you landed there, if you had any enemigo within 3 days of your arrival, you better run up there and get them, or else you're fair game, and everybody's gonna run up and get you. It was wild, Holmes. It was, and then being from Santa Barbara, the only black gang we had was the Eastside Rollins, and they were hustlers, right? We didn't have Crips and Bloods. Now, after the movie Colors came out in '88, there was a faction of dudes that actually grew up around us that started saying they were Hoovers, and we're like, come on, homie, you live right here. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't have. So my first experience with Crips and Bloods was in Y.A. And like, there's a certain word we used to use when you would be kissing on a hyena, you're busting, you know what I mean? And that word disrespects Bloods. And I didn't know that. So like, I'd be telling the story and I'm disrespecting motherfuckers and don't know, and then I gotta get down. You know what I mean? Because in Paso, okay, so I mean not Paso, in SR, so you guys know, those that were there know, it was so fucking wild in Cabrillo that they would make the raza cell up with blacks. They would never put 2 raza in the cell together. So motherfucker, because they knew if they celled us up together, it would be constantly guerra. But what they did is that was your started, Holmes. You went in a cell with a fucking black dude and you're gonna get down. And you might, depending on how most of the time we would get down, boom, and it would be like, okay, he's willing to get down, there it is there. But there were some dudes that were just bullies, bigger dudes, Raza's mostly small, and they'd be fighting every day, Holmes. And if it continued, then it would turn into a riot. You know what I mean?
Because then they felt like someone was being bullied. Yeah.
It was vicious, homie. YA was no, they weren't playing, Holmes. There was you didn't have a friend. You had to stand up for yourself and maybe earn some friends that way.
Yeah.
You know? But it
That's
was
how you got
wild,
your taitas. You got your taitas because, man, you guys kind of shared the same belief, and not only the same belief, maybe the same area, or you guys were both savage, man. They're like people that were like, there's different levels to this shit in YA. That's what I used to tell people. There was the people that were they're just trying to get on by. They'll handle their business, but they're not really trying to really handle their business. They'll do it if they have to. Then there's some, man, that were just different. I spoke on one the other day, or just yesterday, man. Stalker from Linwood Tres, Southside. Their vato was different. This vato was fucking on a mission, right? And there's vatos too that are mission boys. You know why? That will go. I mean, any little thing, they're mission boys. You can tell them, hey, put them on a mission. They'll go fucking plaquear someone. You know what I mean?
Well, see, once I left SR and went to Paso, it was a whole different thing. Paso was off the hook. Okay, so I remember going when I went to board and they told me where I was going, right? And they told me Paso, and I remember dudes that had already been to YA, they were like, "Oh, you're going to the time bomb." Like you caught so much time with it. And sure enough, as soon as I got there, there was a skinhead that made a racial remark towards a dude from San Diego. And I mean, I should tell that story, but anyways, I wound up in a hallway, me and 4 other dudes, I have to count, and got a case. I mean, and he gave up a 3-page statement, but hey, it was like back then. It was unfortunately it was fun, homie. Like I remember somebody telling me your first year of YA, especially in Paso, is going to be establishing what your reputation is. Exactly. And then the rest of your time is going to be maintaining that motherfucking relationship.
Yeah. You never get a break.
What I'm saying? And so, hey, Holmes, we would fucking get down over nothing. Even you're somebody in Paso, even somebody you were cool with, if they were getting a little too cocky, we had a term. Hey, Holmes, let's check it out. That meant, hey, let's go get down. And when we're done, we're going to eat a spread together, and it's all good. Yeah. But you're acting a little bit too tough, and I need to know if that's real or not. Sometimes you win, and sometimes you find out he was telling the truth.
Hey, yeah. That's how you found out he did have those hands that he's talking about. Hey, so trip out on this. In Nellis, it was a little bit different than Paso. I remember there was a rivalry always between Nellis and Paso concerning the style. Everyone thought from Paso that Nellis, and not only because we were there, but also that they were just a little too boisterous, rowdy. They sent like the riffraff there, basically, and vice versa. They used to talk in Paso that they were too high powered, and they thought they were already in YTS over there, right? And I never went to Paso, so I can't speak on it. But I heard that Paso was a little bit more structured. Vatos they had that attitude, like
what it was is Nellis was mainly okay. You had to be younger to go to Nellis. OH was the youngest, and then Nellis, and then Paso.
Exactly.
And we used to tell vatos, if you fuck up in Nellis, you're coming over here with us. When we fuck up, we go to YTS in Preston, and then Chad when that opened. You know what I mean? But Paso was more. I mean, it was all gameplay, but there was a lot of gangbanging was mandatory. But it was also Paso was a very racial place, extremely racial. And I remember the homies coming from Nellis. We never got that from them that they were pushing that racial line. Where in Paso, it was I mean, they had reglas concerning our conduct towards blacks that were extremely racist. You know, and I talked a little bit about that in a past video. I'm not that person anymore, but hey, when I was there, Holmes, I was down with it. You know what I mean? You're a kid. Yeah. But yeah, it was a completely different thing, homie. And then I remember, so real quick, because I don't have that long.
Yeah.
I remember, so I talked about it before when I piggybacked on one of your videos. So it was 1992, It was around April, I think towards the end of April, when they actually brought the first bus of Raza from Northern California. And we had been hearing about it. And it was a trip because, you know, the C-14s came out and all that. But so in Paso, what happened? Everybody who ran a compa, we all tried to meet up in certain areas and discuss in the school area or whatever what we were gonna do. And the first thing was any levas on your compa, get them the fuck out. So it went crazy. Everybody was cleaning house and they were getting sent to Pismo. They started making Pismo. You know why there was no such thing as PC? You had it rough. You fucked up. You had it bad.
You go to the
started sending them to Pismo, and Pismo was cell living, right? And there was only 2 units with cell living, Arroyo, which was a fish tank, and Pismo, and that's a 270. Half of it was Pismo and half was Arroyo. And so that was the first thing where it went nuts, Holmes. People were, it was just cleaning house. And then when the first bus came, I remember my unit was about to head out to line up. And we were heading out and we saw that van. And it was the color for the Northern Reception Center. Everybody looked and we're like, damn, because they locked us back and they were like, no movement, stop them. And I remember everybody was like, hey, can we jump this fucking, because you know every compa has their own fence, their own little
perimeter,
and we're trying to figure out, can we jump this fence and get over there? But yeah, it was, so the first bus was 10 bottles from NR, from Northern Reception. They came, and then, so what Paso used to do was when a bus came that day, the whole compa, the Juras would walk them through the whole institution and tell them, okay, this unit is college, this unit is mainline, this main gangbanging. This unit is the kitchen, compa, whatever. When they did that, as soon as they got to the end of the street, that street, and they were gonna turn, it jumped off. The riot jumped off. Yeah. And so what the Juras did is they wanted to scare everybody. The one bottle, they gave him 5-year add-on, battery pack. The other bottle that kicked it off, they gave him 2-year or 3-year add-on. So they were trying to scare people. Didn't matter. The very next day, there was another one. And then we're like, hold up. So what they did is they put all the raza from Northern California, the 10 of them, on the top tier, and everybody else was on the bottom. And then the very next week, they brought 8 more, and then they never brought no more. And it was different. Like, it was, I already said it in the video, that was a vato from Fresno. He was a Golden Gloves boxer. He was knocking fools out. We were sending knives. We were sending rape. We were so mad, eh? We're like, kill that motherfucker, homie. They had night school. We had day school. They had church at night. I heard later it got different, but initially, and they all went to Pismo. And the bad thing was, like I said, all the levas got sent from Southern California, got sent to Pismo. So then they put the Northerners in there, so they weren't tripping. They were like, we don't got to bang on these dudes. But there was 2 homies that they left in there. And they would get off, go to the box, get sent back, get off, go to... Man, it was bad for them.
Yeah, they were going through what I went through. Yeah,
they didn't stop.
I tell a lot of people, there is no PCNY. There was no PC. There was no none of that, man. You went to the caja, and you come right back to the same compa. You know what I mean? And it was even worse if you got to another compa, because now every compa was different. Everyone had different people, different mentalities. So now you have to get that flow. Hey, so here's a question I always wanted to ask you, since you have just a little bit more time. I went through some hardships in where there was a discussion, man, and it blew up, and I disrespected the city of Watts at that time, right? Thank God there was no Southerners from Watts at that time there. It was all Africanos, and I had to get down back to back. Did the same thing happen if you disrespected someone from a certain carro? Did you have to get down with everybody back to back, or was it just that?
Well, as far as the ramplas, no, there were times where, like, if you disrespected somebody from a rampla, both ramplas are going to go at it. There's going to be a melee between the 2 ramplas.
Yeah,
that's how it was. And what's crazy is you could have your own homeboy from your barrio from a different rampla. Yeah, everybody's firme, what they call firme raza, but you're cool with them dudes. I don't like one of the dudes you kick it with, but we might have to get down with each other now, because if my rampla is tripping on your head, let's get down. And then, but we would do that. We wouldn't eat after each other. Everybody was firme, nobody, no leva. But when it was on racial, everybody did their thing and then went right back to doing what they did.
Yeah, I used to trip out on that. Same thing in Nellis, man. Every rampla was different. Like, I seen the same 5 vatos, and you were right, man. And I stand corrected when I did a video and I said, you know, there was vatos that from certain areas that were ramplas. That's not the case, man, because I seen a rampla with vatos from B&E, vatos from 12th Street Sharpie, vatos from Harbor area, vatos from fucking Indio. It didn't matter if they were camaradas, they were homeboys. That was their rampla, and I ain't gonna lie, some ramplas were a little bit harder than others. Yeah, that's the fact. There was some that you were like, hey, those guys you got to worry about. Yeah, keep your eyes on them. These vatos are here. I'll fuck the whole rampla. But
you know what's fucked up?
Watch out. You know what I mean?
You know what's fucked up? There's certain barrios. I don't know if it's still the case, but there's certain barrios in Southern California that they have pedo with each other, and they're like 100 miles away from each other, but it's C.Y.A. pedo.
Still?
I don't know if it's still to this day, but there were certain areas where it was like, it was a C.Y.A. beef. You're not going to see each other on the streets, but if you did, it was probably going to be on. But what it was is, if I was cool with, so let's say I'm cool with a dude from Compton, one of my dogs was from Largo, right? Yeah. If I'm cool with him and one of his enemigos beats him down in the school area, now I'm going to go out of my way to get down with him. Now we have fellow. Now he's going to rush one of my homeboys.
Yeah.
turns into Barrio Pedo, but it's only Y.A. Barrio Pedo. It was crazy back then.
Yeah, it was crazy. Up north, of course, we were short in numbers. We all stuck together, as we are. Period. It was always short in numbers. We stuck together. Of course, then we had our own things going on with the perros and whatever the case may be. And I remember when that shit cracked off, when I got stuck by the perros, and I looked right directly into the eyes of a man. Respects to him. He just sent me a shout out the other day, Negro from Pomona 12th Street, and he looked at me. And I was like, help me. I got 2 dogs on me. And he looked at me and he was like, get it, bro. And I was getting it. But after, I'm all bloody and I'm on the ground because I got booked. And he looked at me and he was like, you handled that. You did your thing, right? And I was
That's
like,
how white it was.
Yeah, he was like,
on that shit and come back tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't nothing.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
do it again.
Oh, they took me to the infirmary, threw some stitches, put a thing around my arm. I was on the compa the next day eating sopas. Like nothing ever happened. Fuck, there was still blood on the ground. You know what I mean? I was looking at it. Yeah, that's how, and people don't understand that. They get the misconception. And I'm speaking on our era, and you're prior to me, even prior to me. And then anything that happened after 1996, people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know, shit changed drastically. Yeah. In the I'd say 91, 90 to 96 is when it was that's when it was thick. After 97, 98, I'm not gonna say it wasn't still cracking because I know Chad was going off, TS, all that. But I'm just going to say I can't speak on it because I don't know. But I know the era I was there, it was bad.
I think you said something about an escape or institutional riot or something on one of your videos, I think. Somebody did, and it reminded me because somebody asked me if I remember anybody escaping from Y.A., and I said, no, one dude tried. It was a white dude. And he got caught up in the razor wire, and I stand corrected. I remember after, I think it was something you said, after I left Paso, they had some shit where middle of the night, a bunch of the compas went crazy. They kicked down the riot gates. They knocked down a fence, and like 7 dudes escaped.
Oh shit!
It was crazy. Yeah, I was already gone. I was in YTS. But I remember hearing about that. They lit I think they lit Cayucas on fire. Like it went crazy over there, man. Hey, Paso was fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, I was hearing there was 2 incidences where people tried to escape. 1, 3 vatos tried to jump from a roof over into a residential backyard. And they got one of them made it over, sliced his whole self. Another one broke his shit, and then one got caught up in the razor wire. And then the only other incidents I know of ever happened in us was 2 cuates. There was 2 cuates, twins. One was on the calles, one was in there, and one tried to come. They tried to switch. They tried to do the old switcheroo, right? And it didn't. And that's a fact. Other people that were in Nellis have heard the story. It didn't work. Or maybe it did. You will never know to this day. You know what I mean? You couldn't tell them apart. They might
because back then you could wear, I don't know about Nellis, but in Paso you could wear personal clothes to visit.
Yeah, so what happened was Vato fucking just switch shoes, switch boom, and wear some 501. You can't tell because we used to have the 501s and the states. You know what I mean? Vato might have wiggled, so no one knows in the end what really happened. But it was out there. I remember they got busted. It was a rumor. So, but yeah, hey, I think Y was a different animal. From a perspective up north and down south, it's pretty much the same, bro. You guys had different rules and regulations, how you did things. We did too. Ours were more a numbers game, man. We were trying to, but it was different though. I ain't gonna lie. When I went up north back to Preston and Carl Holton, in between the wars or whatever we had going on, it was man. We played a lot of petty games amongst our own. And trip out on this. When I was in Preston, never once did I ever get into with the Vato from down south. That wasn't our thing, man. They were doing their own thing. We were doing our own thing. It was more us and the Bulldogs. We were going at it, right? And the Vato from down south, they were just eating sopas and chilling. They were like, "Fuck it, they were short anyways." There were a lot of them. Preston. Hey, for anyone that doesn't know Preston, it's like Paso. You started to get 16 and above. You had to be about 15, 16 years old to go to Preston. And it was like
when I was there, you had to be 18 to go to Preston.
Yeah, and then it changed to 16. They lowered it, but it was like kind of being in a pinta. Now you were elevating the level. Like Preston, everybody wanted to go to Preston. You wanted to taste Preston at least once because everyone was hearing stories about Preston. And hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, the food was good. It was a cool place to be. Other than the little riots. Then I got to Carl Holton. That was kiddie stuff. That was easy money. I didn't even get a write-up the whole time I was there. You know, I got one the first day I got right off the bus, and then after that, I was the grievance clerk and everything. I had a plush job. Hey, the white guys used to bring me their grievances, and I used to read them. Me and my celly would laugh, and I'll rip it up.
All right, wait, I got to get ready, Holmes.
All right, brother, man, I appreciate you. Again, hey, I just want to say to all the gente out there, man, hey, Dubs is always welcome. We're going to be doing something on his channel. Stay tuned. And we also got something, me and Dubs, going down off camera, and we're going to bring it to you guys soon. Anyways, gracias, brother. I appreciate you.
All right.
All right. That's Dubs,
All right.
man.
Saludos a todos. Everybody tell the ones you love them.
Yep. Make sure you guys tap into his channel. All right, brother. I'm going to continue this from here on out.
All right.
With that being said, gente, I wanted to say, man, make sure that you move fast with a purpose. Those were just a little bit of YA stories, man, from me being from up north and someone from down south with the intelligence, the charisma, and the stature of Dubs. You guys already know what it is. If you ain't tapped into his channel, make sure you tap into his channel. Dubs, man, I'm telling you, he'll give you knowledge that you definitely can't get in the old college. Bang, bang. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your familia. I'm going to do mine. No, you got to get yours. We're going to do it like that. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, and subscribe. If you like this, if not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head. That where's the crown? Oh, the crown. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm speaking so fast. The crown. I'm going to continue to post up and do what I does. You already know what it was. The gun. Bang, bang. That was my boy Doug right there. He's like, scracking, all up in the, always working. Orale. Bang, bang.